They always come at night. No one remembers exactly when the first stories began. Some swear it was the late 1980s. Others believe the tales are much older, whispered long before the internet gave them a name. But whenever the encounters are described, one detail never changes. The children who appear in the darkness are not children at all. At first glance, they look ordinary. A boy in a hooded sweatshirt, a girl with pale skin and long hair. Their voices soft, polite, and almost rehearsed. They ask for help. They ask for a ride. They ask to come inside. Their words are calm, their tone almost soothing. But then, you notice it. Their eyes, not just dark, not just wide with shadow, entirely black. No white, no iris, no hint of anything human at all. Just to empty voids, glossy and endless, as if staring into something that should not exist in a living face. And that's when the dread sets in. Most witnesses describe it as primal, a raw instinct buried deep in the human brain, a warning older than language, screaming that what stands before you is wrong, that it wears the mask of a child, but whatever is beneath is something else entirely. There are countless stories told in hushed tones. In rural Vermont, a man swore he was woken in the dead of night by a soft tapping at his front door. 3 delicate knocks. He pulled back the curtain to see 2 children standing on the porch, motionless in the middle of a blizzard. They wore no coats. Their breath never fogged in the icy air. They asked politely to come inside and use his phone. He almost opened the door until his dog went wild. The animal growled, teeth bared, body pressed against the door, as though it were all that stood between them and death itself. The man bent down, squinting through the peephole. That's when he saw their eyes. His stomach turned cold. He backed away, heart racing, while the children's knocks grew louder, louder, almost desperate. Then, as suddenly as it began, the sound stopped. When he finally gathered the courage to look again, the porch was empty, the snow untouched, no footprints, no sign they had ever been there at all. In Texas, a woman driving home on a desolate stretch of road spotted a girl standing by the shoulder. She slowed, thinking the child was hurt. The girl turned her head slowly, unnaturally, and her eyes, black from edge to edge, caught the glow of the headlights. Her voice was flat, monotone. She asked, "Can you take me home?" The woman's hands trembled on the wheel. She pressed the accelerator, flying down the highway, her rear-view mirror showing nothing but an empty road behind. Some say these beings feed on fear, that they draw strength from the terror they inspire. Others whisper that they are omens, their presence a warning that death, tragedy, or disaster is close behind. The darkest stories claim that anyone who lets them inside never survives to tell what happens next. What chills researchers most is their behavior. They never break in. They never force their way through. They always ask, always wait for permission. They beg, they plead, they mimic the tone of innocence. But they never cross the threshold until someone says yes. It's as though some ancient rule binds them, a rule they cannot break. People who have encountered them often remark on how unnatural their speech sounds, too formal, too exact, like lines from a script. Their voices lack rhythm, lacking warmth, and always, there is that strange sense that they're not asking out of need, but out of calculation, as though the act of asking is part of something bigger, something ritualistic. One night, a former Marine called into a late-night radio program with a story that silenced every listener. He claimed he was home alone when a knock came at the door. Two boys, maybe 12, stood outside, both dressed plainly, both silent until he asked what they wanted. Then, in eerie unison, they asked if they could come inside to use the phone. He opened the door a crack, just enough to see their faces, and froze. Their skin was pale, too pale, and their eyes were glossy pits of black. He said in that instant, every instinct screamed at him to shut the door, but he couldn't move. His hand was heavy, his thoughts clouded. It was as if they were pulling at him, pressing into his mind, urging him to obey. Only by slamming the door and throwing the lock did he break free. For hours afterward, he swore he could hear whispers through the wood, faint, persistent, until dawn finally came. Not all encounters happen at home. Travelers report seeing them at gas stations, rest stops, lonely intersections. One man, stopping at a convenience store, said a boy approached his car window, tapping softly on the glass. When he rolled it down an inch, the boy leaned close and whispered, "It's too late to leave. Let us in." He sped off, not daring to look back. And always there are two, rarely one, often a pair, silent partners watching together, waiting together. Skeptics dismiss the stories as hysteria, a modern urban legend. They say it's just imagination, just the mind twisting shadows into monsters. By those who've truly seen them, those who describe the endless black eyes, the sudden chill in the air, the overwhelming sense of dread. They don't laugh, they don't smile. Their voices falter, as if speaking the memory might summon the children back again. Imagine it yourself. You're home alone. The house is quiet, save for the wind brushing against the windows. Somewhere, a dog barks in the distance. Then 3 faint knocks at the door. You hesitate, holding your breath, straining to listen. The knocks come again. You peer through the peephole and see 2 children standing still in the night, their skin pale, their clothes strangely outdated. You open the door just an inch, and one of them speaks, "Please, let us in." And then you see their eyes, black, bottomless, wrong. Your heart hammers, your body tenses. Would you close the door, or would you let them inside, thinking they're just children in need? If the stories are true, that choice decides everything. Because once the black-eyed children cross the threshold, no one ever sees you again. And out there, in the dark, under street lamps, and on lonely roads, they are still waiting, still knocking, patient, polite, persistent, waiting for the next person who hesitates, waiting for the next door to open. The end, for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more videos, just like this one. This is Cryptic Sense.